Hello, guys. Hello, everyone. Viewers, I love you all. I'm so happy. I don't know, I'm overwhelmed for the accolades, the love, the messages, the questions that, keeps coming in, and the regular subscription almost on a daily basis. And based on you guys' recommendation, I want to thank you all. I say, God bless you. Thank you so much. This has really given me more hope, to release what I have, to release more information because we now have a community, that's actually dependent on this, to set ourselves free from all forms of untruthful situation. For all of you who have written to our email address info@visasmigration.com, thank you very much. For those who have sent messages on WhatsApp, thank you. For my new friend from Papua New Guinea, thank you so much. That's one country I tried to visit, I think, like 8 years ago, thereabout. But I let that in my mind because of the visa procedures and an application. The electronic visa Nigerians are not inclusive. I don't know why a lot of countries don't really understand, the beauty of this country, Nigeria, and Nigerians themselves. They just try to exclude my country from a lot of visa applications. I hope sooner or later things will change. Let's just leave that. That's going to be a topic for another day. And from my partners, friends from Ghana, Cameroon, Gambia, oh, thank you so much. And those who have written from Qatar, from Dubai, thank you so much. A lot of people actually made some requests, which is actually impossible for me, to do because of my strict policies. I apologize for that. Okay, if you're disappointed I couldn't accept your terms and conditions, I apologize for that. If you go to the hospital, you have to accept the terms and conditions of the doctor. He has to diagnose you. He has to, give you the necessary recommendation, to give you good health. That is just what a consultant like myself will never compromise, and that is what I will always do. Something came into my mind about let's just discuss this very important and trivial issue or topic. It's all about spiritualism, and visas application. I have seen a lot of issues that actually involve people involving spiritualism, in Africa with visas application. Spiritualism with a lot of other things. They mix all these things up, and at the end of the day, it causes chaos, it causes misunderstanding, it causes you disbelief in God, and what have you. Let's start from what prayer means. Prayer is just like a catalyst. Be a Muslim or a Christian or a traditional worshiper, prayer is just a catalyst. It is just to boost something. Okay, it's just like you adding yeast, okay, to your flour while trying to make pastries and all that. The yeast actually, double the size of your dough, and that is what prayer does. Okay, it makes the result effective. Okay, but you need to do more work. Okay, get the right document. Let's talk about visas application now. You look at the requirements, okay, from whatever embassy, whether online or offline. You check the requirement as stated there, okay, and you felt the requirement actually straightforward, that these are the things that you can actually these are the conditions you can actually meet. Sometimes it is beyond that, and that is one of the reasons why forums are actually being created where you can discuss about your previous application. A lot of people come online, Facebook, even YouTube, and some other social media places where they discuss their visa application, duration of application, the failures, the success rate, and the interview questions and all that, so that others can actually learn. This is just to show to you that it is beyond what you see or what you read. Okay, especially for Africans, especially for some certain African countries as well. Okay, for some other African countries, sometimes it is just you get it based on what the requirement is, and they believe all document you submit. In some countries, they know that some document actually fraudulently collected, and because of that, they look into it. They take extra effort to look into it and deny, even if it's genuine. Sometimes they just deny. Okay, that aside, and a lot of people go about 90% spiritualism, okay, having faith that when you make your submission or I place your passport somewhere at the altar, you make a lot of sacrifices, a lot of donation to the master, the church, thinking that with that you can win the heart of God that you serve and to make the visa application very easy. You find out that after all this procedure, you submit your visa application, you don't still get the visa. You start doubting the, the God you worship, believing, oh, he doesn't answer prayers. No, it's not like that. The problem is that you didn't do the right thing. You understand? See, God will not come down from heaven. If you believe in God, I'm not talking to atheists now. If you believe in God, he will not come down from heaven to fix your problem. Okay? Sometimes we have to understand the in-depth of spiritualism and visa application. It could be correlated, but they're two different platforms. Okay? If you go for prayer, it's beautiful. But do you have what it takes? Do you have the requirement, okay, for visa application? For example, let's talk about someone who is going for study purpose. Or no, that is even very straightforward because you pay your tuition, there's some, little conditions like that. Let's think about someone who is going for tourism to a country that understands that people from your country do not actually patronize them in terms of tourism. They don't believe you're actually coming for tourism because in terms of their income from other countries, they pay hotel bills, they pay for touristic attractions. But looking at the statistics of people from some African countries, they don't pay for sightseeing. They don't even pay for hotel. They always look for someone to squat with or someone to stay with and overstay in most cases. So no one believes most Africans are coming for tourism. That is it. That's just the mentality. And that is the criteria for total judgment in most cases. Now let's take, for instance, you're going for tourism and you don't even have a good job in your country. I mean, something that can be seen as a financial tie, which shows that you're returning back to your country to continue from after your vacation. You don't have all those basics, okay? Like employment. They try to look at your salary gauge. If it's something that is worthy of you returning, even if you're working, is your salary enough? If you find a better offer in their country, it shows that you're already a potential migrant. You might not actually return. These are some of the factors you have to look into first. And that's why when people are denied, some embassies will give you 3 or 6 months to reapply. That means it's possible for your status to might have changed, okay, over that short period. Probably you got another job or you added another portfolio to what you had before, and now you have a better salary. You're married, okay, seen as a family ties, and some other ties that can actually be considered. That's why in most cases, some embassy will want to have all necessary information about you. Like New Zealand, for example, they want to know the details of your parents, your children, your siblings, where they live, where are they, where were they born. They just want to check all this generational trace. They want to trace all this generational lineage just for them to understand if your capability of not overstaying and ensuring that you follow every immigration rules. Okay, so it's very important you keep building your profile. And Africans, we like rushing things a lot. That is the problem. We just wake up one day and you want to travel. Okay, the people from the West, the Western side, they plan. Right now, they're already planning against next year's summer for vacation. This is November. They are already planning against next year, May, June. How many months? But African, you just wake up. Oh, I want to travel. I want to go to Germany. I want to travel. I want to go to America. I want to travel. I want to go to Russia. No planning. No improvement on your income. No improvement on, you updating yourself about the requirement for the embassy. If it's something you cannot meet, how do you meet up, to the requirement? But rather, you talk about fraud most times because you are actually the originator of fraud. Most people are actually the originator of fraud. Okay, you start imposing your own selfish interest into the, into the, how do you put it, into the heart of the consultant. Oh, I have this money. I can offer you money. Get me all the document. I tell people, I don't get document for anyone. If you don't have it, forget about it. Because someone is lying low, just like a lion, a hungry lion somewhere. You cannot, hungry lion somewhere, and you just came and offered yourself and looked at your situation and decide, okay, this is a better meal for me. You offered yourself because you refuse to plan. And if somebody tries to, make some recommendation, I look at some people's profile. Okay, well, you've not traveled out before. Where you want to go to, it's good, it's beautiful if you have the money. But for vacation, for this, they don't see it as genuine. If it's actually for study purpose, it's beautiful because you're going to spend some money. You would have paid tuition fee, paid for accommodation, or if you have full scholarship, beautiful. Okay, that means the rate of dependent on your statement of account or source of income will be totally reduced. But you don't have all these things and you just want to travel immediately. And you think that people will not defraud you. My brother, my sister, you're a potential meal. That's why you see people just say, oh, this agent is fraudulent. It is because you offered yourself as a sacrifice. It's better you plan, ask questions, Google, go to the embassy if possible, make a phone call, write an email. What are the requirements? This is your status? What do you think are your chances? They will give you the answers. It might not be 100%, but they'll to some extent, you're able to read between the lines that, oh, you have 70% chances. Okay, let me see what I can do again. But you just wake up, hey, I want to go to social place. And when you get there, even if it's successful, you get stranded because you didn't plan. You get stranded because you didn't plan. And you still send courses to that agent or that consultant. Oh, it is your choice. And people don't like listening to the truth. I've told people a lot through most cases, and sometimes I just get tired of saying this truth and I just ignore. I don't even want to ask some questions again, because you don't want to listen. You go to the hospital, meet a doctor, he diagnoses you and say, hey, you have cancer, but it can be monitored, it can be controlled, it can be regulated, but you have to stop taking social meal, you have to adjust you have to adjust your pH of this, of that, and you refuse. Saying miracles can actually, save you. You rather go to the church and keep repeating what and not avoiding what the doctor recommended. Yeah, miracles do happen, but in your case, you're actually stubborn and could lead to death. You understand? So let's avoid repeating such things, for 2025. If you want, you need something for 2025. Okay, let's even give an example. I'll come back after this break.
Розовая худи с штанами. Только штаны были не такие. Они были теплые. Нет, вот так.
Доча, пойдем. Руслана! Послушала маму и уходит назад, а?
Kуда. Welcome back. It's getting dark here, but I'll just continue. Let me give an instance. When God asked the children of Israel, when he was about to deliver them from Egypt, and he told them about a promised land flowing with milk and honey. That is the first Japa from Africa to Asia. So he gave them a leader in the person of Moses. Okay, but this leader was inexperienced. He had to wait for instruction. And this same leader was actually a calm person, being a stammerer, but he was more frustrated by his client, because the Israelites were actually his client. He was just a consultant, that was assigned to lead them. They kept murmuring, they kept frustrating him. And a journey that was supposed to take 40 days took 40 years. Do you understand? So that means that some people might have gone to a prophet, a seer, a seer, an imam, or let's just say a seer generally. Because I've had cases of people who come to me and say, oh, do you have Canada? Do you have Australia? Do you have this? I look at them, I said, after profiling, I said, these places are possible, but you're not qualified. Why don't you go to this place for the same purpose at a cheaper rate and it's still going to be befitting. They say, no, my pastor said this is the exact place I have to go to. Or I had a dream and this is where I found myself. Listen, not all dreams can be fulfilled on a straight path. You have to maneuver sometimes. You have to go through some routes before you get to your destination. This is exactly what happened to the Israelites when they were leaving Egypt. They had to pitch, their tent in different places, different regions before even getting the promised land. They had to cycle some places. You understand? Some didn't even get there because looking at 40 years, some died on the way and they couldn't get there. Do you understand? So sometimes you need to calm down without frustrating yourself or frustrating the consultant. Just ensure that you get the right advices. Take your time, go through the advices, consult who you need to consult if it's necessary. Okay? Then make a decision. And when you make a decision, stand by it. Do you understand? So you can always start from somewhere. Or else you'll be frustrated, you return back to base, and you start afresh. So it's better you plan well, before embarking on such, jackpot journey. It's called jackpot in Nigeria. It simply means an expression for freedom, from the so-called African prison, because that is what some Pan-Africanists call it, like myself, the African prison. We have all the necessary mineral resources that can actually make us to survive. But rather than we making use of it, to build the necessary amenities to enrich ourselves, we kept exporting it, and we allowed, these people to also come to extort us, making things difficult and devaluing our currencies and making life hard for the children unborn. You understand? So please plan yourself. If I decide I want to move out of Russia now to any other place, honestly speaking, I must have a minimum of 5 years plan. Okay? What do I mean by that? If you're going to anywhere, please always have a plan. Always think of the worst case scenario. Don't always believe any places can be very easy, or any place can be so beautiful and easy because of what you see. Yeah, the opportunities. But you need to make sure that you take your time to tap into those opportunities. Create a template of the worst case scenario for yourself. That means if anything happened at this stage and I'm down to the lowest moment, will I return back to my country? Will I be frustrated? Okay? So that when the worst case scenario happens, the worst case scenario could be your friend disappointed you, your spouse disappointed you, and you couldn't feed, something happened. That's the worst case scenario. So what will happen? Will you still have enough strength to continue? That is why you must have minimum of 5 years plan. You can have minimum of 2 years plan, so that when you see the worst case scenario, it doesn't look like a worst case scenario. Just see it as a normal thing, But when you have high hope of expectation and something happens, you'll be down quickly, and your visions, everything will just, been wiped off. All right. Love you guys. Please keep subscribing to the channel. We're going to talk more on some other things. Okay? This is just to encourage us, on some certain things, based on my experience, based on my ideas. I'll talk more on some other videos in the next episode. Love you guys.